Hey, I remember to turn the music down first this time, guys. That means when we go back at the end, it's. Wait, dang it, never mind. That won't even work because it's going to be the end. Well, in either case, we're back, and I know the XPs.
All right. I'm just gonna stare at you, fun folks, and go through this rotation. So, Kelsa, would you like to go first for XPs?
Sure. I like XPs. Did I survive the mission? Yes.
Yes.
Did I help my squad through stealth or foresight? I think yes. I think that's yes.
Yeah, I think that's yes.
Uh,
Foresight, definitely.
Yep. Brought into play your heritage or traumas. I don't have a trauma, and
What's your heritage?
my heritage is Zimiati.
But what are
Yeah.
the
Oh,
what traits?
tough
Yeah.
and bold. Um,
I definitely feel like you were bold.
I think I was definitely bold. So yeah, I agree. And per the highest threat of the opponent we faced.
So you guys only faced a threat to opponent. So that's 2 XP, which means that you get the maximum that you can get, which is 5.
Okay, I'll take it.
Awesome. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
I'm going. Oh, there you go. Yep.
That's right. Eric, go.
All right. So I had one desperate roll, so I marked that. I survived this mission, so that's one experience. I helped my squad through enforcing discipline and strategic planning. I definitely did the former one, maybe not the latter. I would like to argue that's worth 2, but that's not how the game works.
No, you only get 1.
You brought into play your heritage and or traumas, 2 XP if you did both. I argue I did both because actually my brandy is Bartran.
And also, aren't you vicious?
Yeah, and I'm fucking vicious as hell.
So I'm gonna look at everyone here and be like, when you take vicious, you get the trauma trait, but not the actual trauma marker, and it is both a heritage and a trauma trait. So you actually get 2 XP for it. It's the cheater way to get XP. You should take it.
I love this game. Perfect. Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Obviously I was vicious. I called it out early on why I was vicious for at least one way. So cool. And then
So
highest threat is 2.
Just to clarify that, so he has the vicious trauma that counts that counts for the XP trigger, but it does not count against his limit of traumas.
Correct, because what you're actually getting is the vicious trait, not the actual, like, you didn't traumatize. It's just that,
Cool.
To put it in a different fashion, some of us that were raised by parents that have saddled us with baggage, there's a cultural aspect that kind of saddles Barton's with some of that baggage. So he showed up with some vicious stuff and he's like, yeah, he's vicious. So he both acted it out, and it's like dealing with a childhood trauma of his or something.
That's 6
Cool.
XP for Eric.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
I'm spending 5 of it to finish and capstone my resolve to boost my martial to 3, which I
Awesome.
think is okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm dumping the other one into playbook advancement.
Sounds great.
And I'm putting all of mine into prowess so that I get another maneuver. I think that makes sense considering all of the scrambling I did on the bridge. So
Absolutely. Kelsa, did you mark all of your desperate rolls, which I believe you had 2 of?
I thought I only had 1.
You had 2 at least.
We
Yeah,
can
2.
watch the VODs later and
I can just go back through the thing. I'll do that while you move on to the next person.
Sounds great. Who wants to go next?
Sorry.
Alice? Go ahead.
Yeah, so first off, I did survive. I will survive. Help your squad through might or fortitude. Yeah, good amount of that. Fought you brought into play your heritage or traumas. So huge, 1, lots of, and then stoic, the other, lots of.
It's still 1 XP though.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying. Yep. Stoic's the reason why I was rolling 4 dice rather than 3 for the prowess resists. So that's total of 3 XP, and then the 2 off that, so that's total 5. I'm going to put 4 of that into prowess because I rolled 2 desperate action throughout that. So I'll roll that over and get 3 skirmish, and then the other will go into playbook.
Awesome. Ginge, take it away.
So she did not roll a desperate action. I did survive, much to Eric's dismay. I helped the squad by staying out of the way and surviving desperate odds. No, I didn't stay out of the way. I was really in the way for most of it.
You did survive desperate odds, though.
That's true.
Right.
brought into player heritage or trauma. I don't think so.
What is your heritage?
It is Penyar.
And what are the 2 traits that you have?
Quick and shrewd.
I feel like you were pretty quick with dashing around, sneaking. So quick, for everyone watching, allows you to basically act in light load as if you were in normal load. When you're in normal load, you act as if you're under light load. And that's one of the reasons why I allowed you to sneak up on those undead, because you were able to like dodge around and jump them and stab them. So just by using the mechanism of the trait counts as having the trait. So definitely an XP for that.
Okay. And then plus the per highest threat of opponent based.
It's 2.
Okay.
Awesome. So your quick study. Have you been tracking your quick study? Okay, well, we'll go back and look at it. You probably have an extra XP or 2 somewhere in prowess. If I'm not wrong, we'll take a gander when we get there.
Okay.
All right, cool. Where do you want to put your XP?
What will not? Probably skirmish or like working up prowess.
Cool. Yeah. So you get to put 5 XP into prowess, and we'll figure out if that allows you to tick over. Awesome. So that's the end of the XP cycle. So now we're gonna go through the usual end of mission hullabaloo. So give me just a second to scroll up to it. I wrote this book so I could actually consult it. All right, here we go. So first thing that happens at the end of a mission is we do mission rewards. So successfully completing a mission nets rewards. This one provides the following benefits. +1 morale. Troops feel better knowing that they have time to set up a fortified position. And -1 on your time. So the enemy is cut off. You've bought yourself more time to make it to Skydagger Keep. So I'm going to switch our Roll20 over here. Just give me a second. Back to the start page real quick. And I don't know if you can see this, but there are 3 clocks at the bottom. That is how much time you have to cross all the way through Aldermark and end up in Skydagger Keep, which I'm pinging is right there.
I should probably have moved over to that page. Or the...
hang on. No, actually, yeah, okay.
We should be on it.
Okay.
No, I meant on
the stream.
So the stream can see
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was trying to fix it so that it was... I did it. That's what I'm saying.
All right. It's all good. So I'm going to change these clocks so that our commander can do it. But for right now, I think I have to do this. So Alice, I apologize, but I'm going to take this back 1 for you. And you can see now that you gained a time. So you have more time to advance. And also, Marshall, we should now be at morale 8, I believe.
Yes, I was going to ask that. I just confirming it on my own sheet here.
Cool. All right. So next up, mission penalties. Failed missions apply penalties. So that's a thing that would happen if you had failed the mission. We don't do that. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about, we're not going to execute this time because the starter mission is designed to be like a little bit less on top of everything. It's kind of like a teaching mission, right? So usually the Legion will send out 2 squads. One of them we role play out like we just did, and the other mission is actually resolved with a single fortune roll. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. Is there another mission also automatically failed?
If you have 3 missions that you can go on, then 1 mission will automatically be failed. But
okay.
There was no 3rd mission. There was no 2nd mission this time. So we're not going to do that right now, but you'll probably see it next episode.
Okay.
Next up is bookkeeping. If any soldiers died on mission, you have to apply the morale penalty. I think we're good. GG's.
Thanks to Alice.
So now, time passes. The undead advance the clock by 1, and everybody, like the Legion, has to be fed. So you have to consume 1 food circle, Quartermaster.
Okay, food circle. Boop, boop, done.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna advance the time clock by 1. Boop. And finally, whenever you complete a primary mission, you also gain 1 pressure. So you should be at 1 pressure. Is that correct, Alice? Is it 2?
1.
Okay, awesome. So now we're going to do a back at camp scene, and then we're going to see if the Legion advances. This time, the Legion has to advance to the first position, which is the Western Front. So let's talk about back at camp. Marshall, what is the morale?
The morale is currently at 8.
Cool. So that's good morale. So there's this moment when your troop makes it back, right? So like you folks have been out for a while, and everybody's like dug up some trenches and reinforced some walls and set up your tents and got like everything set up so that like they made camp. Actually, now that I think about it, in the Western Front, there's like a little kind of fort set up. So that's where you guys are setting up camp. So as you guys appear, Ram comes back drenched, right? But like still alive. And the rest of you are sort of filing into camp. And as you do that, you see a bunch of the rookies ride out, and you even see like some of the command staff is like paying attention, because like right before you're officially debriefed, everyone wants to know, did the bridge go down? Are they safe? Right? Like this is what their minds are on. And right before they ask you all of this, another figure approaches out of the darkness, and everyone's like, oh, because it's Alana returning, right? Like I mentioned that she wandered off on her own because the Chosen do shit and don't consult with the Legion always. Mm-hmm. And she's coming back, and she's got so to describe Alana, she's a woman with the red and white robes of the Astarian like sect. She has like a hood up, and she has like these robes on, but her hands and her feet are bare, and you can see upon them there's cuts. And what she's doing is she's walking back in. Now, you remember that thing that you guys faced with the like faces and the mouths and whatnot? There is a very famous one of them called Red Hook. And Red Hook is a horror that has one hand replaced with like a hook on a chain, and it uses it to like hook soldiers and drag them back. It's also used it to scale the walls of the capital city. It was one of the things that came over the walls because that's what it does. And this thing is famous because it's killed lots of people. It's got a bunch of hooks in its flesh, and it like puts soldiers on it so that they're screaming, so they lure out more soldiers so it can kill them. And this thing has killed like at least like 50 legionnaires, so much so that everybody's like giving it a name. They know what it is. And she's walking back into camp, and like right before she gets to camp, she's dragging behind her the head of this thing, which is like as big as like her legs. Like it's like, and where her blood hits the hair on this thing's head, it like sizzles, almost like her blood is acid to its flesh. So she takes her spear, and she plants the butt of it in the ground, and she takes the head and she like puts it on the spear, and she just stares at it for like 15 seconds, and it ignites in this silvery fire. And then she like looks out in the darkness, almost like she's daring any other undead to come. And then she wanders over to like one of the barrels of water that are set up, and she takes a ladle and just pours it over her wounds, and like seltzer water, they just sizzle and just disappear off the skin. So what do you guys like? Everyone just kind of like freezes when Alana shows up and she starts doing this. So what are you guys doing? Like, what does this moment look like for you guys coming back to camp? Kind of being the heroes, but she kind of stole your thunder for a second there.
Yeah, I think oh shoot, what's your character's name again?
Oh god, I've been calling her Ram in my head.
The Ram, yes, thank you. That's great. It's perfect. That's all I needed. So the Ram's not back with us yet. Is that okay? I figured.
That can be. You can be showing up here in a minute.
I will be. I have an idea.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Because like I think Karya like looks around because she's like, I'm glad we did not face this, but she doesn't really have anyone to talk to, so she probably is talking to Lotus at this point. She's just like, I'm glad we did not face that.
I am glad as well. She's just shaking with her gun in her hand a little bit.
It's just hitting you, everything you just went through, huh?
Fucking I imagine I'm just showing up all like it's probably after Alana shows up, but like the thing's still on fire, right? Like it doesn't just go out. So like I think there's just like a scene of like staring at this thing while its eye like kind of like you can tell in her head she's imagining it's the face of the other one, and so she's just fucking staring at it, spits on it, and walks into camp.
Nice.
Awesome. Eric, what's Goat doing? Well, like when you show back up, a couple of the rookies like let out a weak cheer, like, you survived. And they look at the officer like, oh, sorry, we doubted that you would survive.
Yeah. And I say, listen, rookies, I have 2 rules. No one celebrates until after, dinner, like after night rations. And 2, no one ever fucking doubts Ram. And so I tell everyone to gather around and I say, attention squad, great workout here today. And like, you're allowed to applause. Yeah, you're allowed to applause. But there's plenty more hard decisions to come. Don't get full of yourselves. And I caught wind of some doubt today on the way back. Doubt about Ram's performance. Doubt is the corruption that will destroy the Legion. Because of that, I am rescinding my offer of my brandy. For you to think about it. For you to think about what it's like to doubt your command. A fault in command is a fault of the Legion, and I will not be having that in my unit. Dismissed.
Lotus is just sitting there with
fucking vicious as shit.
Like,
yeah.
But I killed all
Later that night, there's definitely...
I didn't even doubt him.
People definitely walk
but
in
one
on
did.
Ram fucking drinking that brandy, by the way. Like, just straight out of the bottle. Like, fucking
collect it.
all.
Yeah.
She steals it and is like, fine.
Okay.
Well, no, okay.
I would look. So
I would say steal it. She's drinking it with him for sure.
No, she's just drinking water, like, pretending.
Maybe. Here's the thing. I kind of want the crew to kind of like not like me in a way so that they listen to me, and I want them to look at you like you're the person that they can trust, Ram, and they should be trusting. I want them to look up to you and fear me.
So
interesting. Well, I mean, here's the thing: if Rookie is brave enough to walk up to her and ask for a glass or just sit down, she will pour them a glass. That's the difference, right? Yeah. So it's more like she's drinking it because no one's there to drink it with her, not because she's a dick.
Okay.
So like,
sure. As long as the rookies see that can be painted in a positive light to you, Alice, I'm cool with it.
I totally think what happens is like she invites like Lotus to come drink or something afterwards, because Lotus and her were like standing there when it came out and shit like that, right? So it's like,
and technically Lotus is the one that won.
Yeah.
Lotus is sitting there with the cup of water, just kind of sitting, and then sees Alice's character across the way and is like, "Good job out there, Ram. It was cool with the shield, and you dropped it, and the thing came, and it was cool. It's pretty cool." And then she just goes to slowly walk away, waiting to see if you'll give her a reward.
I think her response is a grunt, puts a glass down, pours the thing, and just like doesn't look at you, but there is a glass sitting there on a stool next to her, is the response.
You see her throw out the water over her shoulder, pour it into her own cup like she's still drinking the water just in case he's looking, and then just start sipping it.
But yeah, that's the thing.
I'm allowed to do that, right? I'm allowed to not give them the brandy after saying I would, right? I'm allowed to do that.
It will. I have made a note. It may cause some dissension in the ranks.
Totally.
I made a little clock, and if you keep doing stuff like that, then the rookies will stop listening. So,
right. Okay.
That's fine.
It's a delicate balance.
Yeah,
exactly. It is.
So that's a thing. It's not a small clock though, because they're kind of scared. So we'll go with that. All right, cool. So that's a Becketine camp. They look a little bit like that. The only question that I have is when you guys are called in front of the generals, like the officers, the officer is going to be asked to report. So what do you guys tell him? Eric, what do you tell him about the mission?
I don't leave any. What do I leave out? It's actually the question, right? Nothing. No one ever. I would like to commend our scout. I'm sorry. Let me look at your name. I would definitely commend. Karya, for their tremendous performance. I'd also like to call out, despite them not getting the brandy for winning, I would definitely like to call out Lotus for exemplary performance. As a promising rookie, as a potential soldier, like, hey, this person could be an officer someday.
Okay,
Right.
so
to them.
cool. And then the other question that I have is, that's what the command staff hears.
Yeah.
But the rumors in camp are passed from rookie to rookie. So Lotus,
Yeah.
you get to tell me what you tell all of the other rookies who desperately want to know what this mission was like.
So I imagine Lotus has had way too much of Ram's alcohol and is just sitting there like, and there we were on a giant 17-story bridge, just like totally embellishing it.
Oh yeah.
And totally building up Ram as like, the commander. He had some good calls. He was there. But
He's present.
But this scout is just crawling under and planting all these huge bombs and carrying all these huge sacks with building it up. And then Ram strikes down and the whole bridge shakes and and I stabbed it in the neck and I killed almost all of them.
Of course you did.
Great.
I really like, the officer, he was there. He probably made some good calls.
I mean, they don't bring
He
me
had a
up.
few good calls, but
So the question that I have for you is just as a point of note, if you could say that Lotus is trying to, so like it sounds like you're making specialists sound awesome, which is not really that unusual. You're like, oh yeah, it's the Marines, or like the SEALs, I guess is correct.
yeah.
Banner Guard is the SEALs, but like the like I guess what I'm asking you is, you make the specialists look good, which is great. But if you could say that Lotus could want to be any kind of specialist, what would Lotus want to become?
She would want to be somewhere between Karya, as far as like being able to maneuver between and
Okay.
more like a scout, but have like the strength of the Ram and like
Awesome.
the bravery of the Ram.
All right, cool.
You just sound like a scout that took Vanguard off of the soldier. Is what you sound
Probably.
like.
That is almost exactly
Heavy.
all right. So I think with that, we wrap up the back of scene camp. And now, usually I would ask the commander, do you wish the Legion to advance? But in this scenario, the Legion has to advance because that's the default for the first mission. So we're going to roll like how the Legion advances to the next location, which is
Yep.
you're going to pick up all of your pressure dice, in which case I believe you have,
One.
so 1 or 2? 1 second.
Should be one.
I just want to double check what I said.
No. That's okay.
Starting pressure is 1, and you earned 1 additional
Oh,
at the end of the mission, so you'll
You are
have 2 dice.
correct. Should be two. I thought
so-
I thought we decreased pressure for some reason after the end of that.
You decrease time.
Okay, my bad. Let me mark that then.
Yep.
Cool. T pressure then.
Nope, I lied to you, and I'm a terrible GM. It is -1 pressure as well, so you're at 1 pressure die. So the question
Okay.
I have for the quartermaster is, quartermaster, do you have any horses?
We do.
And quartermaster, would you be willing to spend 1 unit of horses to give you, so the advance describes how much it costs for you guys to get to where you're going. So if you spend horses, you're like tiring them out and using them up. So the question is, do you want to spend horses to make it less risky so that your Legion can advance further? It's 1 bubble.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's at this point it would be nice to we want to win more at this point. As long as we're ahead, stay ahead. For as long as we can. So, yeah, let's push those horses.
Cool. So this means, Alice, that you're going to be rolling at 0D. So if you want to make a fortune roll at 0D, that'll determine how much time ticks on the clock.
So 2d6 take lowest.
2d6 take the lowest. I think that if you put it to 0 dice, it should roll 2 and take the lowest.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's okay.
Fine.
We got one.
One.
One time.
So the clock advances 1 time. Click. And you're good. All right. So now you're going to be at the Western Front. So I'm going to read you a little bit about the Western Front. We'll have a little talk about it, and then I will ask the commander what kinds of missions you're looking at. So I'm going to move this adorable little tent here to the Western Front to indicate where the Legion is currently camped.
Perfect.
All right, awesome. So I gotta scroll a little bit. 1 second. Western Front, here we go. 3 years ago, the first big battle against the Cinder King's troops happened here. The armies of the Eastern Kingdoms built their camp before advancing to Ettenmark. The area remains marginally fortified, and it is a good place to regroup before pushing on. The few soldiers remaining are exhausted and on edge. If you were hoping to find other chosen that survived the offensive at Edinmark, they are gone, taking the southern path to fight on a different front. The main fortifications of the area is the previous army rear camp. A few stragglers hold out behind the makeshift walls, pits, and barricades, most barely holding it together, some having fully given up. There's a few days left of supplies for the handful of people in the fort, with lots of talk of abandoning this post. In the surrounding areas, the undead have been crossing the Tige area and increasing in numbers. At night, they'll test the camp defenses, looking for any weakness to exploit. A brutal intelligence underlies their movements, looking to cut off avenues of escape. So this is probably not a great long-term sort of place to stay and try and defend, but it does provide a little bit of respite and a chance for you guys to camp out and kind of get yourself reassembled. So the only two mission types that are available in the region are assault and scout missions. But before we do those, it's now time to do campaign actions. So I'm going to turn it over to the quartermaster.
Sweet. And I have to ask our Marshall how many, or is it Marshall that knows how many campaign
8 morale.
suggestions we get?
Yeah,
How
you
many
have
is
2.
that? 2? Brilliant.
Yeah.
I loved 2. I think we need to rest because I know at least 2 of you are hurt, right?
Yeah, I have 2 level 1s. Question. So it's increased number of healing ticks, correct? Off of the healing
Asura's Mercy, yeah.
Okay. So you still have to take the action.
Correct.
Right, but
Okay. Oh god, I wish I was an alright.
And may I suggest something? If we have a supply, I think a liberty by spending a supply is also a really good idea.
I was going to, I've got some, I think I've got supply.
Okay.
Wait.
I don't have to,
What do I have to...
You have 2 supply.
For people
2
playing
supply,
at
okay.
home, liberty is the stress relieving one.
Okay.
How do you reduce harm again? The healing? And you have a clock?
Harm? No,
so there's no clock in this game because one of the things that we discovered is going through and rolling for the clock on every sheet is terrible. So what we have is next to each harm section, there's a couple of little checkboxes, and you can just it costs 1 checkbox to remove all level 1 harm, 2 checkboxes to remove all level 2 harm, and 3 checkboxes to remove all level 3 harm. And when you take a rest and recuperation action, you usually only get 1 box, but you'll get 2 because your chosen's awesome.
So, right now everyone only has level 1 harm, is that right?
Yeah.
But you have 2 level 1 harm.
It'll clear off the same
It'll
thing.
clear the whole, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you take rest and recuperation, everyone's going to clear level 1 harm. And if you take liberties and you boost that, then everybody will clear all stress.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. I think that's what we should do here with our 2 actions. So I will spend the supply, and we're down to 1 supply. And everybody heals and everybody clears their stress.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to do that when we get back.
And that's by spending supplies on rest and recuperation?
No, on liberties.
On liberties,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Does that also raise morale?
It does. You gain up to 4 morale, but of course it caps at 10.
Ah. So what does this look like?
Liberties for the most part is kind of in the name, right? It's a lot of we get to kind of do whatever we want for a little bit. We get to drink around or just sort of be lazy, train, it's our free time.
Also, spending supplies on it means that the quartermaster has released extra rations of booze.
Yeah, it's
giving you the good food.
Tap the barrel.
Yeah.
So instead of eating dry jerky or salted fish like you've been for the past month, you actually get some good food.
Mutton.
Yeah.
Improves morale.
One of the rookies can cook for us.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. All right. So those are the
Campaign actions.
And then the last thing that we're gonna jump into here is, Commander, what type of mission are you looking for?
Scout, for sure. We are at cap morale, I'm pretty sure. And so we don't need more morale, so we just need more intel. That's all.
Sounds good. So let me Let me roll some dice here, and
If
I'll
we
let
had some deaths, we probably would have done assault, but it's okay.
All right, so hang on a second here.
By the way, just in case if we haven't talked about, I don't think each location on the map has a little name, has different types of missions available. The only missions right here on the Western Front are assault or scout, but once you progress, I'll have more missions available, like religious or supply and things like that. And they all have like different rewards built in and stuff like that.
All right, so I'll let you know ahead of time here. Just a second, just so that you know for your own.
I am curious.
Identification.
I am quite curious. This is true.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Fascinating. So there will be, just so that you know, there will be 2 scout missions available, and there will be an assault mission available, which is actually tagged Mercy. So I'll come up with the storyline and give you guys the briefing on all 3 missions next time, and then the commander will choose which one is primary, and we'll play through it, and we're going to send a squad and a specialist on the secondary mission.
Yeah, comes out. I think we have a feeling which I'm going to lean towards primary, but
yeah. All right, cool. So I think if everyone's okay with it, we're going to call it there. And I will start the next session by giving you guys the briefing on what cool missions there are.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right.
I love this game.
Well then, if we're done with the actual game, we should do some outros. Strauss, let's start with you. This is your game. Talk about it,
sure.
yourself, and where people can find you on the internet and otherwise.
Cool. So hi everybody. As you may know, probably because Eric's really good at putting our names under everything. My name is Strauss. You can find me on Twitter at StraussA, or you saw me in chat as consulting designer on Twitch. Although I don't stream there, I actually stream on a channel that I co-host with Sean Nittner called Actual Play. So twitch.tv/actual play. And since we're talking about actual play, I might as well say, if you like Blades and you want to see a drastically different, well, actually, I don't know. It's actually pretty similar to this now that I think about it. But we're playing magical girl genre, but we have giant robots who are in the middle of a war. So I guess I guess I have a type. I was expecting a slightly different game, but that's the season playbook we chose. But it's a wonderful game written by Andrew Gillis, and they did a great job at basically like encoding certain magical girl genres into it. So if you ever want to see me roleplay as an anime magical girl, that's your chance. It's streaming every other week, Thursday nights on Actual Play. And of course, Band of Blades, you have seen here. We're going to continue playing this on Sundays. I'll let Kelsey give you a little bit more details about the dates and times. The only other thing to note is I also write a game called Scam and Villainy, which is also Blades. And it's a space sci-fi, space opera, kind of like Firefly, Cowboy Bebop-ish sort of game. So if you are interested in that, check it out. It's in my handle for on my Twitters, and that's it. So back to you, Kelsa.
Sweet. Great. Then let's talk to that. Let me remember how to talk. Gosh. Okay, so we're gonna go across, which means that Eric's next.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Eric. I'm also your crappy ration holding jerk officer today.
Today.
That might change. So yeah, I'm Eric Vulgaris on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. This is amazing. I love this game so much. I would definitely watch this TV show. You know, this is good. I like this a lot. If you like games like this, you should definitely check out all my other games. And if you like to see more Strauss and you want to see the roles reversed and Strauss yell at me about and being a leader and an officer, you should totally watch our 316 campaign with John Harper at the helm of that. So do that as well. Anyways, that's me. Thanks a lot, Kelsa. Thanks a lot, Ginge, Alice, and Strauss for playing with me today. And thank you, chat, for hanging out with us today and liking my jokes and yelling at me for wanting to get everybody killed. So it's good. Look, my officer doesn't want people to die sometimes, but it's more I as a player have an incentive. Okay, So
Yes.
there's a difference here.
At the
But
very
anyway.
least, you give me excuses to fucking work.
Yeah, I put them in
I do.
opportunity. Yeah, of course. I put them in opportunities, but also put them opportunities to test themselves.
So,
Give you
That's
some
what they're calling it
opportunity.
these days.
Give you some opportunity to make some desperate rolls and get some XP.
Look,
Um,
these baby birds got to get out of the nest. All right, they got to know how hard it is.
Brilliant. I'm gonna skip over myself and come back to me at the end. So, Alice, what about you? Who are you and your internets?
hi, Alice, also known as Taffcat on various places. Now that I've finished, well, not finished, but now that I have moved, hopefully Twitch will be more active and stuff. So that's I've been talking in chat, capital T Taff underscore cat with a K underscore. Where I'll probably play a lot of fighting games. I've been playing a lot of Dragon Ball Fighter Z a bunch. It's real good. Twitter is capital T Taff with 2 F's underscore KAT. I talk about role playing games and being trans and stuff like that. So if you want to follow me there, you can do so. I'm also making some fan made stuff for this game with the help of like FF, who made the sheets for this game, also known as Dylan Boats, because that's his name. Strauss is also helping a ton. So yeah, if you want to see more fan made content for this game, I'll talk about more of that as we get closer to actual releasing. So yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you everyone for having me. I had a bunch of fun. I love this game.
Sweet. Ginga, let's hear about you.
I am Xmas Ginger Ninja. I mostly run a gaming channel, but we're getting a little into Blades and other to be announced games. I loved this and playing. I didn't really like. I've been reading it the last like 3 days, but you can read something 8 times and not really get it until you play a rookie and someone's just barking orders behind you trying to get you killed. But I like to think that I didn't die and I did fine, and everything's gonna be fine.
Nobody will die.
No, I will protect everyone.
It's okay. Yeah. Maybe next session you'll get to play the officer, and maybe I get to play the rookie. Who knows?
mean, that's a possibility. That's a possibility.
The marshal determines who plays what playbook every mission. So
Technically.
As long as you stay out of my line of shot, you'll be fine.
Brilliant.
Good rule with rookies around.
And I'm Kelsa. This is my channel. You can find me at Kelsa on Twitter. It's Kelsa Delphi here on Twitch and YouTube. The VODs are going to be going up on YouTube, so if you miss a session in the future and you want to catch up, that's where you can find it. If you want to refer it to all of your friends, I'm going to be putting it up later today if I can, otherwise tomorrow. I also am running a Burning Wheel game on Thursdays called Harvest Valley, which is kind of based off of Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley. That was where we took the inspiration, but it has taken a hard left turn from there, and I can't exactly say what it's about these days, but it's a lot of fun, and we're trying to make a magical mirror for the winter goddess, among other things. So yeah, that's me. Follow me in places if you want to see the things, like and subscribe, whatever. And thank you all for coming out. I'm gonna toss us over to some more of Drummer Boy's amazing music as we get out of here.